If you have the will to defend yourself and some basic skills, you can turn the tables on armed robbers. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson. Today's lesson comes to us from Florida City, Florida, and it shows us an armed robbery where the tables are going to get turned on the armed robbers. It's going to teach us some important lessons about transitional spaces, about how attacks like this come from ambush, and about how to successfully defend ourselves if we have the will to do so. The door opens to the convenience store here, and these two guys, you see the guy in the plaid shirt has a baseball bat, and he just sets about using it. The other guy here is the grab man, and the guy in the plaid shirt comes then behind the counter and just starts taking some wild swings with this softball bat on these guys. And he's going to get him a couple of good ones while his buddy robs the till, until one of the employees gets braves and takes the bat from him. Now the fight is really on because the tables have been turned, and what we're going to see here is one of the clerks grab this guy, and the other clerk is going to start wailing on him with the bat and gets a couple of good shots in on him. It's kind of difficult with his buddy there, and finally the guy's going to get away and get, off of him and get away, and this one's over. So let's back up and think about some lessons on this one. First of all, these transitional spaces are chosen for a reason. You see there's just a second of warning, and you can just barely see that he had the baseball bat before the attack is on. It's one of the defining features of a transitional space. And that first attack that comes, you see him, he hit the monitor there. I think that was saving grace for this employee that he didn't catch one off the head because it could have been over real fast. Now, one of the things I wanted to think about is as he came around the counter, that clerk, if he had a firearm on him, had a couple of seconds to get his firearm out and in the fight, which is one of the reasons that I always tell you to be armed and ready to go. This clerk didn't have that, and so therefore he only had his empty-handed skills. Now, empty-handed skills against a bat-wielding attacker, not exactly a good fight and not what you want to do. But at some point, you're cornered like this. You can't get out of the fight, and we always say, if you can't get out of the fight, then you got to get in the fight and charge. This is exactly what he's going to do at this point. He's going to have enough of getting hit, so he starts the 5Ds. There's deflect so that the bat doesn't get him again. Now dominate. Next thing we're going to see is distract all the time. They go off camera. I don't get to see that, but if you can distract, now you can disarm, and we see that he has disarmed here, but he hasn't been able yet to disable, so the fight is still on. But now he's got the bat and has turned it into the fight, and therefore the bad guy has started to run. Now, you don't know what that bad guy is doing at this point. It's all the heat of the moment, so the fight is definitely still on. But now this employee grabs a hold of him. I really don't recommend that because you put yourself in a really dangerous spot against somebody who is clearly incredibly willing to do you bodily harm. But the employee that is after him is going to get after him and get a couple of good shots in while trying to be careful for his buddy. All in all, this teaches us some important lessons about transitional spaces. Also teaches us about the importance of practicing those 5Ds and knowing how to protect yourself against somebody who's armed if you're not, and when to fight the fight and when to let them go. These two guys did a pretty good job of covering their asp.